Greg Biffle once said he only hoped to get the chance, and for decades he proved what someone could do with exactly that, until tragedy brought everything to a sudden halt just days before his 56th birthday, when a private plane carrying Biffle, his wife, and their 2 children crashed near Statesville, North Carolina, witnesses describing the aircraft flying dangerously low before clipping the tree line and erupting in a massive explosion. An incident authorities confirmed occurred on the morning of December 18, 2025, with emergency crews responding shortly after a distress signal was received, and while the investigation remained in its early stages with no immediate cause assigned, NASCAR confirmed Biffle's death the same day, sending shockwaves through the racing world and prompting a rare, solemn statement from Richard Petty, who chose not to list trophies or victories but instead spoke of Biffle's perseverance, quiet generosity, and refusal to ever give up, words that resonated deeply because Greg's story was never about ease or inevitability, but about a long climb that began far from the spotlight in Vancouver, Washington, where he was born on December 23, 1969, into a working-class family surrounded by engines, tools, and the hum of car culture, learning mechanics from his father, racing model cars as a teenager, and grinding through short tracks across the Pacific Northwest throughout the late 1980s and 1990s with equipment he often built himself, earning a reputation not for dominance but for control, patience, and an ability to run worn tires harder than anyone else, a trait that caught national attention during the Winter Heat Series in the mid-1990s, where his relentless consistency led Benny Parsons to recommend him to Jack Roush, opening the door to NASCAR and transforming an unsigned regional driver into a development prospect who seized the moment, winning Rookie of the Year honors in the Truck Series, capturing the 2000 Truck Series championship, and then doing something few drivers manage by winning a second national title in the Busch Series in 2002, all within 3 years, a meteoric rise that placed him among NASCAR's future stars and carried him into the Cup Series in 2003, where Biffle quickly proved he belonged with aggressive victories, technical precision, and a driving style that made him especially dangerous on mid-sized ovals, culminating in the unforgettable 2005 season when he battled Tony Stewart to the final race and finished runner-up in the championship, just 35 points short of immortality, a near miss that defined much of his Cup career, marked by wins at tracks like Darlington and Michigan, respect inside the garage, and tension behind the scenes as Biffle's blunt honesty and instinct-driven approach sometimes clashed with teammates and engineers, yet earned him millions in contracts, endorsements, and a life built around speed, aircraft, and classic cars, until time and change caught up, aerodynamic rule shifts dulling his strongest advantages, results slipping after 2012, and by 2016 ending a 19-year relationship with Roush Racing, a quiet separation that led to the absence of a full-time ride, financial strain, brief personal controversy, and eventual withdrawal from the NASCAR spotlight. Broken only by a symbolic return in 2022 with an underfunded team that served less as a comeback and more as a farewell lap, a reminder of what once was rather than what could be again. And when Greg Biffle's life ended unexpectedly, it closed a journey that never quite reached the final championship summit but carved out something equally lasting, a legacy built on persistence, raw determination, and respect earned the hard way, making Richard Petty's words feel less like a tribute and more like a final lap for an era now finished, plain, rugged, imperfect, and impossible to replace. And if Greg Biffle's story leaves you with something hard to define, it's because some journeys aren't remembered for how they end, but for how fiercely they were driven every mile along the way.